what you're looking at here, you're looking at the firewall, and then inside that box right there is a complete cowling assembly. They claim that nobody is making the lower cowling panel. Now, we were going to go ahead and use the original cowling, and I still might do that. I don't know yet. I'm debating whether to use the factory original one or not. It depends on how it looks compared to this new one. If this new one is out of fucking dimensions of deformity shapes, I might go ahead and still use the outer, which would be the outside with the grill on it, the factory original one versus this one here. But I want to show you this. Now, if you look at this thing, it looks like it's bare metal, but it's not. It looks like it's painted with silver paint. It's not. What it is, it's called weld-through electroconductive. No more grinding, paint ready.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Before we go any further, I just want to explain to you one fucking thing. There ain't nothing out there that's fucking paint ready, okay? I've already tested this shit out and I've painted on it before, and let me tell you something. If you don't prep this fucking shit just like you would, let's say the floor pan over there that's got the black electric plated primer on it, the fucking shit's gonna flake right off. So don't fucking believe everything you read, because that ain't gonna happen, all right? You still have to prep this up, you still have to sand this shit down, and you still have to prime it and all this other fucking shit before any kind of paint can go on it first. So far, I'm just going to let you know I'm pretty happy with the way that these parts are fitting. Now, this is from a company called D.I.Y. I'm sure everybody out there watching this video set already knows that. There's a lot of these mass-produced fucking made in Japan fucking companies that make this shit. So far, I haven't had no problems. So the floor went in okay. I like that. Let's see how this shit works out and go from there. And once again, as we open this up, we're going to see that this is a two-piece system. This being our lower section right here. That would be our underside, which is, if you flip it over, that would be inside the car area that you're looking at. And then this would be where your vent area is facing up. So far, it looks like it might be a good piece. And then, of course, we got our top section right here, which you can see plain as day that this is the same thing. It's got this electroplated shit on it. Before I even think about installing this stuff, what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and put epoxy primer on the inside of the parts. And when I say that, I'm going to go ahead and epoxy prime the inside of the floorboard, the firewall area. I'm going to go ahead and epoxy prime the back side of our top piece of our cowling, and then on this piece right here, I'm going to go ahead and epoxy prime it up and down, both sides. The reason I'm doing that is because once you put all this together, all right, it's very, very hard to get epoxy primer in a lot of areas on this, and doing this now is going to save me, myself, and fuck off me a lot of fucking time in the future. Watch, listen, and learn, my friend. We just thought of something right here that's going to save you fucking time as well. So let's get these out of the way and move them down the fucking line. And now let me show you how to prep this up so we can get some epoxy primer on it and feel comfortable that it's not going to flake off later on down the line. And it's basically very simple and very easy. What we're going to do, we're going to take some 80 grit sandpaper and we are just going to scuff this whole piece up just like you see me doing right here. The only difference between this and that black shit, all right, the black stuff that you see behind me, if you look down in the corner of the camera there, the only difference is this is silver and that's fucking black, basically. It's the same shit, it's the same fucking concept, but yeah, that's the real deal right there. Once this is done, I'll repeat my process on the other ones, and then they'll be ready to go ahead and put some epoxy primer on them, ready for installation. And then what we'll do to make sure that we got every nook and crack and crevice of that, we'll go ahead and take a red Scotch-Brite and just go around all of the places that the sandpaper missed. I'd like to go ahead and explain in the strong fucking voice that 80 grit is really the only way you're going to bust this shit. 180 doesn't cut it, and 80 grit is the way to go. So, just to let you know that, so when you get ready to prep yours, you don't fuck up and paint starts peeling off. Alright, this firewall is ready for primer. Let me go ahead and prep those other pieces up over there, and then when they're done, we'll be back to put some epoxy primer on our pieces. Scuffed down, let me go ahead and get the epoxy primer. Now the primer that I'm using is an epoxy primer sealer. That requires an activator / hardener to make it work proper. I would not recommend to use self-etching primer on anything that you use. Self-etching primer, in my opinion, is a joke. Go to the extreme, go to the best, and use epoxy primer all the way as much as you can possible. I do not use self-etching primer, which is a single stage type primer that you just mix reducer or lacquer thinner with. I just don't believe in it. I don't fucking use it. I don't believe in it. And that's not what I'm fucking using! up there. We're back on our Mustang now. Where we left off, we went ahead and put sealer on our parts on the inside, and then of course the back side and this, that, and the other. And then I went ahead and took some red paint. I mixed some clear with it to go ahead and paint the parts that we will not be able to reach once the car is put together. And it came out pretty nice. Let's go ahead and look at that. So if you look right here, you can see this dried as a semi-gloss finish. It's not even a gloss, it's more of a flat. And then of course up under here, I really didn't want to move that, but you can see that we painted this as well. And then I also painted the back side, which is the inside. This would be the inside of our cowling right here. And then I went ahead and painted the dash as well, the back side of the dash, or the front side of the dash, which would be facing toward us once the car is all together, that you won't be able to reach. So there you go. So that came out really nice. I'm happy with it. Is it the exact authentic original color? Probably fucking not, due to the fact that you'll never fucking see it anyway. I just did it for the fact that now everything has epoxy sealer on it, and it also has paint, and it's turning out to be a better than factory build job here, because now we're getting into the situation that we call, it's both my finger, there you go, Concourse restoration. All right. And what Concourse is, one more time, is where you take it to not just restoring the vehicle, but you take it to the extreme of going past what the factory would do to it. What we're doing right now is we got our two halves here. This is our cowling. All right. So this would be our outside piece. And of course, this would be our inside piece right here. And then of course, this lays on top of this. And what we're doing here is we are setting up where our spot welds are going to be, because if you look at this lip right here, this is the lip that catches on to the dashboard. This is our dashboard lip right here. But then this lip right here is what catches on to the bottom right here. See here? Do you see this lip right here? So what we got to do, instead of just go ahead and randomly drilling holes, what I'm doing is I'm lining up our two-piece cowl panel situation here, and I'm using my line-up holes to do that with. So I want to make sure that this is lined up perfect, just like that. And then, before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some C-clamp pliers, vice grips. Once again, I want to make sure that those holes are lined up perfect, just like that. And then we'll come over here and line these ones up as well, making sure that all these holes are lined up, because we want to make sure that this is our main fucking section right here. These lines right here are body lines where our fenders are going to line up. So we got to make sure. Now we're talking about body lines here. See, we're talking about lining up the body lines and getting them all in place where they're supposed to be. So it's very, very important to make sure that now that we are putting outside structural pieces together, that everything lines up properly. Alright, now that that's lined up, what we're going to do is on the back side here, I'm going to go ahead and show that to you. If I can get it flipped over. And what we can see right here, if you look right here real close, is you can see where the two panels meet. This will be our inside, this is our outside. Now what I want to do there is, because I got to drill holes on the outside so I can spot weld them to the inside. And what I want to do to make sure that I don't drill over here and I drill where it's going to go is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my magic marker. I'm going to draw a line. These are cheap fucking magic markers, by the way. And now I can go ahead and remove this panel. We're done with it for now. go ahead and just put that to the side. And now what we'll do is, if you look at that line that I drew right there, if you look at that line, I have to put my holes that I'm going to drill on this side of the line right here all the way down. Now, one more thing that I'd like to explain about these two particular pieces that we are installing on this. These are main structural pieces. These pieces, not really this as much as the other one, the inner one, but these pieces right here are a main structural section that holds the front end of the car together. Keep in mind that this is basically a semi-unibody car. Now when I say a unibody, that means that the frame and the body are as one. So this right here is very, very important, and if you look real close, you're going to see how close and how many holes I have punched out for spot welds going all the way down the outer cowling so far. And if you look right here on the dash, you can see how many spot welds were on this piece that hold this together. And the reason that is because this is what holds the top of the car together. This is a structural section that really needs to be welded up properly. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and drill my holes just like I marked out. Now, the reason I'm showing you this instead of just going ahead and drilling them and then say, hey, look what I did, is because this piece here goes to the dashboard, and then of course this piece here where we're drilling these holes out, they're going to go to the inner cowling. So that's very important. And then of course on the edges right here, we're going to have quite a few as well, if you saw from what we were looking at over there. But let me go ahead and drill those out. We're going to be back and start putting this fucking thing together. It's a lot of fucking drilling and a lot of fucking shit going on. It's a lot of anxiety, and it's a lot of, I wish this was done so I can get on to the next job, is what you wish. So I got to drill these out, and I got to do the other panel. Once that's done, we're ready to go ahead and set the firewall in there and get it in place and get it done. We'll be back. Hey, how y'all doing out there? This is Pete over at SWRNC, and we just got our Sammy Salami 2016 Presidential USA sticker stack pack in, and I'm going to go through them with you. I'm going to show them to you, and I think it's a situation that says, you know what? I'm sick and tired of the way the fucking country's being run. Let's get somebody fresh in there. Let's get somebody new. Let's get somebody that we can really trust. We got Sammy Salami right there, honest as a bottle of beer. How much fucking more honest can you get than that? You got the Big Bear bottle. You got the Sammy Salami giving you the fucking innocent, sweet look right there that says, vote for me. I'm your man. Then we get to this one that says, of course, trust me. Trust me because I'm a trusty fucking guy. Bend over. Here comes the change. All right? I mean, what's going on here? All right? Sammy's showing you facts, not fiction. All right? He's showing you the facts right here. Sticking his fingers in the air. Sammy Salami's our man. USA 2016. Bend over. Here comes the change. There we go right here. I mean, how much more honest and how much more truthful can we get with that one right there? Lubing it up for the long haul. We got 4 fucking years of long haul action going on. And, you know, that's exactly what they're doing to us. So why should Sammy Salami be any different? There you go, 2016 election. Mr. Boss Cocky himself to the end. That means he ain't gonna give up. He's gonna fucking fight for your rights and take it all the way to the fucking end of the world if he has to. USA 2016, Boss Cocky to the end. And then we got Uncle Sammy needs your vote, sticking it up in the air. Got the big head fucking Sammy Salami going SWRC 2016. Give us a fucking vote and make all this happen, because we got 7 giant stickers right here that says it's gonna happen. If you're interested in these stickers and you want a Sammy Stack sticker pack of United States of America Presidential 2016, contact my friend Pete, and the sun's right there in our eyes. Contact my friend Pete, and we'll get you one of these sets out. Contact me via email, or you can contact me on the telephone. Honest as a bottle of beer. Let's get back to that video and see what the fuck's going on over at SWRNC. D.I.Y. Auto School. SWRNC. To the panels. Now what that's going to do, that's going to ensure us that this car is protected 100% thoroughly from any type of rust or moisture that might get into it. We also went ahead and primed the firewall because it's actually backwards. Let me turn this around. Once this is installed in the vehicle, up inside here, this would be your floor and then your dash would be right here. It's very hard to get paint and sealer and primer up inside there, so I went ahead and sealed that as well. And then I also went ahead and put sealer on the back side of our upper outer cowling panel, so when we go ahead and install that, like this right here, there'll be primer under here and moisture and rot will not be able to travel into the metal itself. And we went ahead and primed this front and back, as you can see. But I'm going to go ahead and take it one step further, and this is something that you might want to do yourself to restore the car to the Concourse restoration that we're trying to get here. And what that is a couple years ago, I painted a Mustang convertible. I did I believe it was a 67 Mustang convertible, and it was this candy apple red color. The same color basically that we're going to paint this car, and I have some leftover paint. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paint behind the dash. I'll go ahead and paint this upper part of this firewall right here, and then I'll go ahead and paint this piece and then the back side of this as well. Now what that's going to do, that's going to also give us extra protection, but it's going to give us that quality look and that quality feel that we want. That's better and more efficient than what the fucking factory did. Now a lot of people think that they got to go with the codes and they got to do it this way, and oh, it had this brush stroke here and they did this to it at the factory. If I built this car just like the factory built it, the first thing I would fucking do is I wouldn't have put sealer on this, I would have sandblasted these fucking things. And then I would have fucking put the whole car together in bare fucking metal. Alright? And then, this would not have got any fucking paint inside it at all, because at the factory, they put these fucking cars together that way. It was bare fucking metal. They didn't put no electroplating coating, nothing on them, and that's why these motherfuckers are called Rustangs, not Mustangs. Now what we got here, we got some leftover paint from the 67 Mustang that I did a couple years ago. This is a base coat paint. This is not an acrylic enamel. This is not a single stage urethane. This is a high quality PPG base coat paint that we're using here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paint, and you can see it right there, and even if it isn't the 100% authentic factory, 100% accurate color, we're still going to be able to put this paint on there, and the paint will be behind it, giving it that Concourse restoration style. Does anybody know what the fuck Concourse actually stands for? Concourse actually stands for better than factory original. And that's what we're going to do here. We're taking it one step beyond the factory, more like 10 or 20 steps beyond the factory, and we are literally building the car like it should have been built in the first place, the proper way. That's what Concourse means. So, yeah, Concourse. Big fucking word, which actually equals out to be a lot of fucking work. Concourse. we'll go ahead and take our paint. Now, if you watch real close, you see that I am adding paint to that. And this paint already has reducer in it, so we're not going to put any reducer at all. But what we are going to do, we're going to take our clear, and we are going to convert this paint to a single stage usable style paint. Now, this would not be used for the outside of your car. I'm going to make that real clear. This is for a situation like we got right here, where it's never going to be seen, or it might be under the hood style situation. This is not recommended for outside of the car use. I'm going to go ahead and add about 20% clear to my paint. And then of course we're going to have to add our hardener to make the clear activate. And then once that's done, we'll go ahead and mix that up. And now our red paint is ready to be sprayed on the car and turned to red, you might say. So we'll go ahead and strain our paint as usual. And once you mix this paint up right here, it basically becomes a single stage style paint, and whatever you don't use, it's pretty much trash. You have to throw it away. You cannot keep it like you would raw base coat or paints that don't require hardeners.
Let's go put some red on our car and see what it looks like.
So what we've done, we went ahead and sprayed our panels red. Let's look at them and see what we got. Now, if you look at the way this paint is drying, it's not going to dry to a super high gloss finish due to the fact that we actually had more paint in the gun than we did clear. It's going to be a semi-gloss, but adding the clear to the paint is going to make sure that it's not just going to be a raw base coat, you might say. We went ahead and painted everything possible to give it that Concourse restoration style fucking situation that my friend Pete does. And we even went ahead and painted the back side of the dash as well. Even though you're not going to see that, it still sets your mind at ease that says it's fucking done right. And that's what it's all about here. We got this panel right here painted red, and the other panel, which we haven't installed yet, I'll probably paint that when I get ready to put it on. I'm not going to do it right now. I ran out of fucking paint, but yeah, we can do that anytime we want. So even though our car's in a million pieces right now and it's looking like a pile of shit, it's actually looking like it's coming together, and it looks a lot better than it did the day it rolled in to my friend Pete's shop. We still got a lot of fucking work to do to this thing. We have just broke the ice on it, but we will get it done. The steps and procedures that I am showing you in detail of how to restore your fucking old car, your rusted, rotted out rust bucket, applies to any car that you're working on, not just the Mustang. We just happen to have a Mustang that we are using as a donor car to do all this to. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. Watch, listen, and learn. Do it the right fucking way, because the right way is the only fucking way. You're gonna get it done the right fucking way. We'll see you later. Take it easy, and we will be back when we get ready to install our firewall, our upper and lower cowl panel, get everything lined up, and start welding all this fucking shit together.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.